Boise Cascade Canada's integrated pulp and paper mill in Fort Frances, Ontario is a leading manufacturer of paper products known as uncoated groundwood specialties or mechanical printing grades. Mechanical refers to the high-yield, non-chemical pulping process which provides the majority of the pulp mix. We manufacture many different grades of paper with various specifications for use in 4-color newspaper advertising inserts, magazines, books, and miscellaneous converting uses. The origins of the Fort Frances mill date back to 1912 when ground was broken for construction of the mill's original 2 paper machines. A 3rd paper machine was added in 1927. Over the years, we have continuously modernized and upgraded our facilities in order to remain competitive. In 1971, we added a bleached kraft pulp mill to our Fort Frances complex. Paper machine rebuilds have been a major focus of our modernization efforts, resulting in improved quality and access to new markets. Our ability to produce a wide range of products begins in the forest. Through the application of scientific forest management practices conducted by professionals, we make use of a valuable and renewable natural resource. Our woodlands activities are conducted under Forest Management Agreements, or FMAs, which are contracts with the province of Ontario. Under these 20-year agreements, we assume responsibility for all forest management activities, including planning, road construction and maintenance, harvesting, regeneration, and tending. Boise Cascade Canada has 4 FMAs, covering a total of 4.2 million acres of licensed timber lands. Of this total, 3.1 million acres are productive forest, with the remainder made up of waterways, roads, and non-forest lands. Under the FMA program, we are held accountable for the success of our reforestation efforts. Once the timber harvest is complete, the area is reforested either naturally or through tree planting or seeding. If the reforestation does not meet performance standards set by the Ontario government, we must repeat the work. In this way, we ensure a continuous wood supply and healthy forests for everyone to enjoy. After the trees are harvested, they are delimbed, cut to 8-foot lengths, and transported to the mill to be made into pulp. 2 types of wood pulp are used for our paper-making process: kraft pulp, which is made by a chemical process, and stone groundwood, which is made by a mechanical process. The wood used in the groundwood mill is a mixture of spruce and poplar. Upon arrival at the mill, the wood destined for groundwood is loaded onto conveyor belts and sent to the woodroom slasher deck, where the logs are cut to 4-foot lengths before being sent to large debarking drums. Debarking is necessary to ensure the pulp log is free from bark and dirt. This is accomplished by the friction of the logs rubbing against each other as the debarking drum revolves. Once debarked, the pulp logs are sent to the grinder room, where they are sorted and loaded by grapples into the magazine pockets which feed the grinders. Although the grinder magazines were loaded manually for many years, we currently utilize a computerized auto-loading system. In the groundwood pulping process, debarked logs are pressed against an abrasive synthetic revolving stone. Wood fibers are separated and washed away from the stone surface with water, and the resulting pulp slurry is then screened to remove larger particles. The pulp is pumped to storage tanks or to groundwood bleaching processes, where boral or peroxide is used to achieve specified brightness requirements. The groundwood mill produces 460 tons of groundwood pulp per day for use on our paper machines. Kraft pulp is produced by cooking wood chips mixed with white liquor in a digester under high temperature and pressure. The wood used is primarily jack pine with some spruce and balsam. The resultant pulp is processed through a series of washers and screens where cooking liquors are recovered for reuse. The pulp is then bleached to achieve the required brightness level. Once bleached, the pulp is pumped to storage tanks. As a result of a $20 million investment, We have significantly reduced the amount of chlorine used in our kraft mill through increased chlorine dioxide substitution. This has significantly reduced the amount of chlorinated organics generated, and dioxin is at non-detectable levels in our mill effluent. The kraft mill produces approximately 600 tons of pulp per day, with approximately 200 tons used by the Fort Frances mill. The remainder is shipped to Boise Cascades Mill in International Falls, Minnesota, which is located directly across the Rainy River from Fort Frances. From the storage tanks, the kraft and groundwood pulps are pumped separately through refiners, where the fibers are conditioned to improve the strength of the final sheet. The individual pulps are tested regularly for target specifications. Before being transferred to the machine chest, the two pulps are blended together. Blended pulps from the machine chest are pumped to the intake of the paper machine fan pump, where color and clay are added to meet customer requirements. White water is also drawn in by the fan pump, diluting the pulp mixture, or stock, to 99% water and 1% fiber. The diluted stock is pumped by the fan pump through a series of centrifugal cleaners, where dirt particles and impurities are removed. The stock is further cleaned by centrifugal pressure screens prior to entering the head box. A head box is designed to uniformly distribute the stock across the full width of the paper machine. The stock leaves the head box through a narrow gap called the head box slice and is deposited on the forming fabric. The fabric is an endless belt of fine synthetic mesh which supports the stock fibers, allowing water to drain and a web to form. At the couch roll, more water is removed from the web by a vacuum source inside the roll. At this point, the web still contains 82% water. A pickup roll applies vacuum to transfer the web to the press section. Pressure between the rolls in the press section removes more water from the web, decreasing water content to 58%. The web now appears as a sheet of paper. The sheet is supported as it passes through the press section by synthetic felts. After pressing, the sheet enters the dryer section, where it wraps each steam-heated drum in turn, bringing the water content down to approximately 8% through evaporative drying. Next, the sheet passes through the calendar stack, where a series of hot, water-heated rolls press the sheet to provide a smooth finish. The number of rolls the sheet must pass through in the calendar stack is determined by the final finish specified by the customer. After the calendar stack, an online measurement system scans the sheet, monitoring the basis weight, moisture, color, brightness, caliper, and clay content. Together with this online monitoring, physical tests of paper samples are taken from each reel of paper produced to ensure customer specifications are met. At the end of the paper machine, the sheet is wound onto a reel spool to a specified diameter. A hoist transfers the reel of paper to a winder, where rotating slitter blades cut the sheet to the width ordered by the customer before it is rewound onto 4-inch shipping cores. The completed rolls are then sent to the automatic wrapper, where they are scaled, wrapped, and loaded for shipment to the customer. We have 3 paper machines at Fort Frances. Number 5 paper machine is a Beloit Bell Bay 2 twin wire former. It runs at a speed of 3,000 feet per minute and produces a sheet of paper 175 inches wide. In early 1993, a new Valmet top former was installed on our number 6 paper machine to improve formation and to reduce linting and two-sidedness of the paper. Number 6 runs at 2,150 feet per minute and has a trim width of 175 inches. Number 7 paper machine is a newer design Beloit Bell Bay 3 twin wire former. It runs at 2,900 feet per minute, producing a trim width of 210 inches. Paper is shipped to customers by truck or by rail, depending on delivery schedules. Railroad shipping includes paper loaded directly into rail cars or loaded into shipping cans. These cans are transported by truck to the rail yard, separated from the trailer chassis, and stacked onto rail cars. At their destination, the cans are reloaded onto a trailer chassis and the load is delivered by truck to the customer. We supply a wide range of customers. Here in this press room, our paper is used to print advertising flyers on a high-speed, state-of-the-art printing press. Due to the complexity of modern press rooms, our product must meet very specialized requirements. We can supply paper in hundreds of grade variations to meet customer needs for runnability, printability, and final appearance. At Boise Cascade, Canada, we are committed to reducing the impact of our operations on the environment. From 1981 to 1992, we invested more than $66 million on environmental capital projects at the Fort Frances Mill. This investment has resulted in significant improvements in air and water quality and solid waste management. We are proud of the tremendous progress that we have made in the environmental area to date, and we are committed to further environmental improvements in the future. Dedication to quality at the Fort Frances Mill has made our product well recognized in today's competitive marketplace. This commitment to excellence is a result of the coordinated efforts of employees at all stages of the paper-making process, from our Woodlands operations to the shipping department.